Okay, so do you know what? I am really excited about this section. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Claire, background's in personal training and health club management. I'm a mum, so we've got Noah John, who is 5, Joseph, who's 10, and I've got a gorgeous stepdaughter, Melina, who is now 25. Can't believe it, Dan. Oh, she's 26. Sorry, Melina, if you're watching. But you know what? I just want to say, this for me tonight, what I'm going to talk about, I'm so passionate about. And, me and Dan, we were so blessed to be invited to nutrition clubs, and we've been in Herbalife 10 years. 10 years, and, there's people sitting on the front tables who know as well. We've got friends sitting in the audience, and did we have fast growth when we first came into Herbalife? Yeah, we did. And do you know what? Was it good? It was amazing. But when the business wasn't built right, and I suppose, we weren't clear on where we were going, what we were doing, we were immature, yeah? Is that the right word? By the way, wasn't my word right that I said the other day? I seen you looking at me. That's a private joke, I'll come back to that. But were we immature? Yeah. Did we not work hard enough? Sometimes, probably, yeah. Adam Renshaw, didn't see you come in. And, when the business started to go backwards, confidence really run low. So for 5 years, and Dan spoke about it, we were almost in the valley, and, we tried different things, and we were swapping and changing, and we'd go into an event, and we'd get really pumped, and we'd come out, and we'd want to take over the world, and we'd be like, this is the one, we're going to go. And then we'd be paralyzed because we'd be a bit like, oh my goodness, we don't know what we're doing. And, income was going down for us, and it was all our responsibility. It was no one else's fault. It was due to us. But when your income goes down and it's a full-time income for a family, it's tough. It really is tough, because you start to really doubt yourself, and you start to think, what? Is this for me? And even though me and Dan always knew that we would use Herbalife Nutrition, and we always believed in the mission, we just couldn't find our fit. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that. And, we tried many, many things, and it wasn't for the lack of trying. It just didn't trigger our hearts in the way that we felt. And, Nick spoke about Maslow's, hierarchy of needs. I remember when he first showed me that, and it was when we'd gone through a long time of being in the valley in Herbalife. And it was like a light bulb moment, because I was like, wow, I have never felt I've tapped into that top bit, and I know it's there, and I know there's something for us. And I remember sitting at home. I'd gone back to work, Dan had gone back to work. We were doing loads of childcare to try and sort the kids just to survive and pay the bills. And I got a text message, and it was a text message off Nick. And guess where Nick was sitting when he sent the message? He was sitting in Orly and Sinead's Nutrition Club. And I'd had a conversation with Nick about 6 months earlier just to say, you know what, we're going to take a step back from Herbalife. We just need some time out. We need clarity on where we're going, what we're going to do. Don't be in touch. We just need that space. And when the message comes through, and I've never told him this, I was really annoyed, because I thought, here we go. Here we go, Papa Jarvis. You're going to rope us into something else. And when you're not in a great place, you do get a little bit like that. Am I telling the truth, or you're all kidding yourselves? Because you do, don't you? And this message, and he was like, you've just got to see this. And, he was sitting in that club, and he'd seen something with Sinead and Orly's club that I knew he felt in his heart he wanted me and Dan to see. And that was really the start for us, along with other leaders in the UK saying to us, just look. Just take a look. What have you got to lose? And at that moment, we had nothing to lose. We really didn't. So we went to Ireland, and I went first. I remember I went on, I think it was the 3rd of January. Thank you to Eamon and Michelle, who put me up in their house because I couldn't afford a hotel. Forever grateful. They drove me to the nutrition club. Orly was like, if you come in, you need to be at 6:30 in the morning. And I thought, is she messing? 6:30? I'm on my holidays. I've come to Ireland for a few days. And I turned up and it was pitch black, and I was thinking, you know, is this going to be something for us? And I remember sitting in the room, and within the first 20 minutes, all these people were coming in through the door, and I knew I'd come home. I just knew it. I felt the energy, I felt the results, I seen it in front of my eyes, but most of all as well, I seen a structure. And Dan spoke before about, you know, his background was in banking. I was a health club manager and a personal trainer, but I've always had a working week structure. And for me, for a long time in Herbalife, I'd lost that. I didn't quite get the whole trying to manage my own time. That just didn't work for me. So that drove me into being not very productive at time. But sitting in the nutrition club, I felt it. And I always knew from that day that no matter what, me and Dan were going to bring clubs into the UK for us to do and really tap into being purpose-driven. So massive thank you to Sinead and Orly for opening your arms and hearts. Thank you. Now, for me, this subject is something that I'm really passionate about, because when we first came back to the UK, and you know, other groups like Justin and his group, they were doing nutrition clubs. We were learning loads from them. Me and Dan opened our first club with an amazing lady called Katie Spall. And when we opened our first club, I remember Nick saying this to me. Now, I didn't know whether he said this in jest or he meant it, but he said we did. And we were chatting about opening the club and getting started. And tomorrow you're going to hear about what we put in place before we opened, which, you know, we're just going to share this weekend with you. We weren't reactive. We looked at over 31 properties. It had to be the right price, the right location. But I remember when we opened it, having a conversation with him, and Nick just said really like flippantly, you know, as fast as you can get 100 club members. Do you remember saying that? And I remember going, 100? You know, I haven't been able to get a customer for 4 years, you know, 100. And he's like, yes, and come back to me when you've done it. So this is Nick. So I come home to Dan and I'm like, Dan, we need to fill the club with 100 people as fast as we can. And Dan's like, okay, what do we do? I said, I've no idea. I said, but let's learn. And the reason I tell you that is, you know, let's just have a reality check. You're not going to learn everything in this weekend. So if you're sitting in the room and you start to feel it, because that's what will happen to you, you'll start to feel it in your heart, in your DNA. You become infected when you're around people who are in clubs, okay? And if you're meant to be on this journey and connect to the mission with the UK and Ireland, you will not be able to fight it. You will feel it. But over the next 2.5 days, you're going to get loads of information, but you won't learn it all this weekend. So are we all clear on that? This is a journey of growing and working through a development program, yes, on yourself, and then building that in a community and really nourishing the potential in others. That was the word. So I said that on one of our team trainings. They all laughed at me. They thought I'd lost the plot. Debbie said, I think it was nature you were meant to say. And I'm thinking, no, Fiona, I've heard this somewhere. It was the honours. It was the honours, yeah? Debbie, yeah? So when we look at this weekend, you're going to get loads of information, but I just want you to embrace it. And I want you to imagine it's almost like going back to school, a nutrition club school. And tonight, the bit that I'm going to talk about is, you know, our vision is to roll 100 clubs out, and we will do this, each with 100 customers in, getting great results. But we're looking for people to roll clubs out with us, people who want to make a difference, people who are looking for a career change, people who want to join our mission and vision. And when you've got that in your sights, or that's your intention, you really then start to enter your clubs in a totally different headspace, because you're no longer just looking for customers, you're looking for club owners. You're looking for people who want to make a difference, and people who, yes, want to get into great shape, but you're also looking for people who really want to change their life, whether it's with income or body transformation. And I think one place I've always struggled in Herbalife is I really struggled to differentiate the people who were business builders and the people who were more flexy and, you know, like the idea of the goal, but didn't really commit the time and effort to do it. Does that make sense to everyone? So when we came into clubs and we really started to look at, okay, we can build these clubs, yeah, and we can fill them with a community of people getting great results. But one thing we need to do is to make sure that we move people through to find the club owners. Now, this weekend, you're going to hear all the time us talk about personal production, taking responsibility. Our mission is to be out there on a daily basis and reach new people. You know, if you're someone who's looking to build a business part-time, we say in our group, you want to be looking to help around 3 people a week. If you're someone who's full-time or you want to move that little bit faster, it's 5. But some of you might be sitting in the room tonight and go, wow, 5 sounds like a lot. But when you have the club, it gives you a structured way of working. It enables you to, number one, it's an amazing invitation, because the invitation is not to Herbalife, it's to Nutrition Club. And when you build these communities of insane results, the referrals roll it. So these numbers are achievable if you're passionate about what it is that we do and you get clubbed. And what we mean by getting clubbed is you feel it in your heart and you will know when you've been clubbed, okay? You're all laughing? By the end of Sunday, you'll be clubbed. Now, you've seen this already and this has gone out into your bags. This is the Nutrition Club pathway, and you know, Dan touched on this for a long time in Herbalife. We used to see at the events, there was flows and things like that. We just didn't get it. And when Nick first asked us to do a pathway, oh my goodness, ours was like spaghetti junction. The first pathway, he gave us the space to go and do it. We did it, and I remember me and Dan trying to draw it, and there must have been 50 blobs on it. We were like round corners, and I showed it to Nick, and Nick was like, interesting. Yeah? So this has taken time, but what I would say to you, and you might want to write this down, you can go out of this room and you can take 40% of what we've shown you. Will you be successful? I've no idea. I don't know. Or you can walk out of this room and you can commit, okay, to this model and process. And yes, the variable is going to be you. You know, Nick spoke about that. But if you follow the system, the process, and you embrace and you commit to your future, we can show you how to build a royalty if you're willing to work hard. And that's what this is about. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to be someone who has a club and you're a retailer? Or are you looking to build a business that impacts and it's, you know, limitless? Are you looking to build a business that builds royalties? Because for our group and for lots of you in this room, that's what we're on the game for. We want to make a difference. We want to roll clubs out and we are looking for people to join us. And this is your stepping stone to help you. Now, you're seeing this come up and it's on your table. This is the Nutrition Club career ladder. And this is what I'm going to touch on tonight. And, you know, when I first seen this, and again, thank you so much to the Irish and the people who came before us who passed this on. This, for me, helped give me a structure to develop people in the business. But in the first year, we got stuck. You know, Dan and Nick mentioned this. The first year, when we were building, we were just focused on customers. And to be honest, we were really excited because we were loving what we were doing. We were getting up in the morning, we were purpose-driven, we were putting results out into the marketplace, we were making great retail income. It was all great, but we were stuck. We weren't growing royalties. And it was only when we started to go into year 2, when the pathway came in, and we started to look at a development program of how can we help our people go through from being a club member to finding trainees who are looking for additional income, whether that's part-time or full-time or flexi, to then out of them trainees finding people who wanted a career change. We were looking for junior partners who wanted to become club owners. And a junior partner, what we identified in the early stages was that we had the title, but we had no development plan. And what we were clear on is we wanted to roll these clubs out, but we wanted them to be profitable. We wanted to produce club owners who had skills. They understood how to fill a club, operate a club, and then duplicate it. And we didn't quite feel initially that we had that in place. It was a little bit like we were guessing, yeah? We were like winging it. Do you know what I mean? That's what we were doing. So when we go through this now, I'm just going to share with you what it is that we've learned. So is everyone okay with that? Are you all still with me? Yeah? But after the junior partner bit, we've got the club owners. And, you know, what I say to our club owners is that, you know, as a club owner, you have the potential to take this wherever you want and reach as many people as you want, but you have to treat it like a business. So the amazing thing with club is, yes, it's about energy, it's about results, but you can't move away from the fact that if you want to be successful, there's going to be skills that you have to learn. There is going to be some knowledge that you're going to have to go away and commit to learning. And then the next thing is, you've got to be willing to get uncomfortable. Because if you want things to change, and Jim Rohn talks about this, you've got to be willing to say yes. Okay, is this making sense for everyone? And when we're working with our group, what I love about it is, and you know, Nick's taught me and done this, is to move to this space where we're allowed to make mistakes. Do we say that we've cracked it? No, we don't, not at all. Do we pretend to our team that we know it all? But we're all on this journey creating together. We've got a vision and mission, but we're creating, and that's where I want you to try and move to this weekend. Everyone okay with that? Yeah? Okay. So, let's look at, first of all, the junior partner program. So we spoke about everyone starts off in club, comes in, okay, as a club member, as a customer. And when people come in as customers, you see them transform, you do. And as a club member, you see people who get clubbed, remember that word, okay? Because they come every day. They start helping out with, you know, supporting the person who's sitting next to them. They're raving about club. They start bringing the friends. They start bringing the family. And straight away, you can start seeing out of your club members, wow, this person would be an amazing trainee. And it's almost like that movement of moving someone from being a customer into the marketing plan and joining our mission. It becomes a really organic thing that occurs because it's not forced. I'm not saying that it generally is forced upon people, but it's a natural transition. And then out of your trainees, you are looking for people who want to become junior partners. And junior partners are your baby club owners in the making, okay? Now, in our clubs, what we normally say, and you're going to hear what we call magic numbers over the next weekend, or you might know them as gauges, but we say in a club that our size, and by the way, write this down, we are a budget club. If you miss that detail, you will struggle to duplicate. This is so important. You know, Dan called us the EasyJet of nutrition clubs. That's what we are. We give great service, world-class customer service. We get results, okay? We might be a budget club, but we make a difference. We make a difference and transform people with results, and we transform people on the business side. But when we find these junior partners, these are people who have made that decision that we see potential in, okay, and they want to be trained up to open their own club within the next 6 to 12 months. So we start them on what we call a mentorship program. Now this, what really helped me is, when I was looking at the career ladder when I first came into clubs, I could get my head around that because in a normal conventional business, you would have the employees. So in a gym, you'd have the fitness instructors on the floor. And then the next level up, you'd normally have an assistant manager, okay? And assistant managers would normally be in a conventional business where, you know, they were promoted because they had potential, they had ambition, they wanted to move through the ranks, they wanted to grow as an individual, they wanted their income to go up, they wanted to have a bigger drive and purpose. And when we spoke about the junior partner role, for me, how I got it was, I was like, whoo, these are a little bit like assistant managers in a health club or in any club. Does that make sense to everyone? And then we were like, okay, in order for us to produce these strong, successful club owners, we need to work tight with these junior partners, because we need to make sure that we help them to master all the basic skills while they're with us in club, that when they're ready and they've built their customer base, they've also as well shown that they can move people through the pathway, yeah? We can find trainees, they have a ready-made business, so when their 6 to 12 months is up, they can pick their business up, move it out, open their club, and we call it giving birth. So if you heard any of the trainers this weekend saying, you know, I'm about to give birth, what it means is, in our language, is that they've got junior partners working within their club who have built a business up to a certain amount of customers and trainees, and they're about to graduate and open their own club. So does everyone get that? So if I start saying I'm having triplets and stuff, that doesn't mean to say that I'm having triplets. Yeah, it just means I'm about to give birth, me and Dan, to junior partners. Now, a junior partner business is normally made up of around 30 to 40 club members, and it's around looking for 2 to 3 serious trainees. But here's the difference. What I loved about it is everyone's come through the pathway, so they've all got great product results, they've all been clubbed, they're loving the club, they love the energy, they love everything about it. So when you transition people into junior partners, they have the foundations of that business nailed. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? So when you find these junior partners, you can really get to work on the nitty-gritty and helping these people to become professional. We've got to be able to teach our junior partners how to, yes, keep the funnel going and invite and with new people, whether that's through referrals or whether it's being doing outreach in the local community. We've also, as well, with these junior partners, got to teach them how to build a team, okay? How do they build trainee coaches and teach them to get 10 customers and help them to get great results? We've then got to teach these junior partners as well the higher level stuff, what it takes to run a club. Things like, you know, making sure that that club opens no matter what. If your dog dies, you open the club. Sorry, that might sound quite harsh, but you wouldn't see any other venue that, you know, was represented a professional brand because something happens, the door's shut or the lockers, the shutters are down, yeah? And in Nutrition Club, it's training the mindset with these junior partners that you have to become professional. And we start to work with these junior partners to take the role within the club so they start to get used to having responsibility. Training trainees up through tell, show, try, do. Teaching people how to do wellness evaluations, teaching team how to go out in the local community, invite them with banners, teaching people how to monitor stock, teaching people how to do the basics of tracking retail profit. You know, write this down, retail profit is one of the most important things in a nutrition club, because as trainees and junior partners, it's cash flow. And every successful business needs cash flow, yeah? And when you start bringing these people through, trainees and junior partners, if you can teach them about building profit and having cash flow, money in their hands excites them. Does everyone get that? And money also as well keeps people in the game. You know, when we got involved in clubs, I admit I was attracted to earning X amount through retail. Orly and Sinead totally inspired me and Dan, because we were like, wow, if we can earn, you know, an extra £1,000 to £4,000 a month in retail before we even look at royalties, that would pay our bills and we could sleep at night. And that's the power of working in a structured way in a nutrition club, is you're able to, number one, it's an easy invitation. Number two, it's really easy to work with people to upgrade onto products because they're around other people who are getting insane results. So the third party of introducing people to sampling different products is a powerful thing when it comes into the community. And as Nick said, the average spend of someone in club, because they're being recommended all the time, starts to go up. So retail profit is so important. And it's important because do people have to graft in club? Yes, they do. They have to get up early. You know, and you have to ask yourself, are you willing to get up at 6 a.m. or 5:30 for the next 2 years to get to the president's team? Are you willing to do that 5 to 6 days a week? Is it worth it? Now, only you can answer that. I can't answer that for you. But for me and Dan, 100% it was worth it. Are you all still with me? Yeah? Can you tell I'm so passionate? I feel like high leg kicking only I've got this skirt on. So this is what we call our mini clubs as junior partners. 30 to 40 customers, we call them active club members, and you're looking for 2 to 3 trainees. And then when our clubs graduate, we give birth, okay, and they move out. Yeah, Adam? So you've built your customers, you've built, you know, a junior partner who's got 2 to 3 trainees, they pick their business up, they move their club and they open. This is what we're looking to help them build. Now write this down. When you develop trainees, they leave your club, number 1, with a customer base. Number 2, they already have a team in place. And then number 3, their club is profitable. So when they open their doors, what we really focus on is really helping our junior partners to have these mini clubs, so when they move in, they can then start building around a get team business. And the reason we picked this level, because someone asked me this a little bit earlier, is, you know, why do you talk about in your group each club being a get team business? And I'm going to be honest with you, because when we first started, me and Dan spoke about if we're going to roll these clubs out and we're looking for people who want to become professional and make this a career and join our mission, we understand that for a full-time income, a get team business is what fits for that. For us, an active world team business, we thought, you know, is that going to attract the professionals that we want for it to be a full-time income? Now, that's a guide, that's not concrete. So this is why for us, a get team business, we felt really fitted, and that's where it starts to come from. So a get team club will turn over around 20,000 organisational volume. We look to build them with 100 active club members, so that is customers consuming the products. You're looking for 3 junior partners in each club, yeah? And they are roughly active supervisors, okay? So some of you will know it at that language. You then want 9 trainees, okay? All doing the basics over and over, absolutely loving what they're doing. And that will give you an accumulative in a club, in a building block like Nick spoke about, of around 12 to 13 supervisors. But here's the thing, when you get a group of people in a space, working intentions together and creating to make a difference, the way they think and where they want to go, boom, explodes. And this is why when you find something that you love and you understand the business model, you can go anywhere with this. You've just got to be willing to go to work and understand that it's a program and you're not going to learn it straight away. All good? Okay. So what Nick really helped us to do was to look at our business and go, okay, so we want to get to the president's team. How do we build these clubs to move us up the marketing plan? Because if I'm honest, for years, me and Dan, okay, I'm going to tell you something now. Me and Dan used to have the pins sellotaped all over our house. Like, seriously, Nick's laughing because I think he come for dinner once and thought, weirdos. Why is the Pres team pin on the mirror in the toilet? But at that time, we were so desperate that we thought if we plastered all these pins all over the place, you know, it's going to happen. And obviously, we were just living in hope. So when we started nutrition clubs, we were like, okay, let's become professional. It was me with the flip-flops, by the way, sitting in Nick's house. It was me. And do you know when he said, are you professional? I felt like he slapped me. Because when someone tells you something that you know is true, it's like a dagger to the heart, isn't it? It's like, ooh. So when we looked at building this, you know, Nick was like, you have to build it as these clubs to move you up the marketing plan. Both of you go away and figure out the metrics, the numbers, the gauges. So for the first 2 years, we started to track. Can you believe it? But why? Because we wanted to be professional. We wanted to be them president's team people who could teach others, but we had the business skills to do it, because we wanted a business with growth and sustainability, not just a business that went up and come down, because I couldn't do the heartbreak again. I just couldn't, yeah? So when we put this together, and I remember playing around with this, me and Dan were doing the numbers, and I remember getting Anne-Marie Duffy on the phone, and I was like, I'm going to send you something I've been creating. I normally create at 4 a.m. in the morning, by the way. I know that's a bit weird. But I was creating 4 a.m. in the morning. I was doing the numbers. We were putting it out. I was running up to Dan in bed, and I was like, Dan, I need to show you this. And we were looking at what you see on the screen. It started to map out for us. And it was like the penny started to drop. And we were like, wow, okay, for the first time in 7 to 8 years in Herbalife, we can see a roadmap of exactly what we need to do and how we're going to do it to move us up the marketing plan. And this is what we use with our group. Now, this is a guide. I'm not saying if you do what we show you, this is going to happen, but at least we can show you the roadmap. But imagine this. Do you think over the next 10 years you could find 10 people who would love to become a club owner, who would love to work Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. until 11 in club, doing wellness evaluations, helping people to get great results, upgrading people, finding people who wanted a part-time or a full-time income as a trainee, showing them how to do it? Do you think you could find 10 people who wanted to do that? And then do you think over the next 10 years, you could find people who wanted to work them 6 days a week, 7 till 11? Don't be deluded though. That is not the only time we work. We work time efficiently during them times to do the basics, but we go out inviting 1 hour every day. 1 hour every day to non-negotiable. And then we do our trainings of a night time. But in that structured way, could we find people who wanted to do them 6 days a week and become a club owner and earn a get team business income? Do you think you could do that? Absolutely. Because again, when you bring the customers through 3 or 5 a week and you see people get clubbed, it's like they become infective with the energy and spirit of what we're trying to do. Because who wouldn't want to get up every morning and start your day in a positive environment around people getting your battery charged and watching people transform through product results and through the business side? How amazing is that? 10 people, write it down. And when you go back to the career ladder, you see how, you know, in your club, yes, it's a place to look after customers, but it's a training ground to breed these people that we see potential in. Whether it's the trainees who just want to be part-time, full-time, or flexi, we start to do the tell, show, try, do. And what's really amazing in the club is you get to do the basics over and over and over again. Okay? Now, what does our trainees have to do to be able to build their business in our club? Because remember, we're a budget club. We only have 100 spaces roughly in each club, and we're looking for a team of roughly 9 trainees. So to take up one of them spaces, what's the requirement? And there is a requirement because this is professional business. This isn't you're able to build your customer base in our club and then turn up when you want. Dan, I'd have a heart attack. Yeah, but it's about having clarity from day one when you're building your team. So as a trainee coach, okay, and you can see it, they must remain when they join the trainee coach program as a club member. They must remain to have a club membership. For those who don't know what that is, that's still on the customer journey, okay? They must attend club 3 times a week to work on their product results. Why is that important? Well, what we do know is if we've got trainee coaches who are still working on their product result, they have great energy. When they've got great energy, they start to do more things. They feel good, they feel confident, and they go out into the marketplace and they sing our mission of nutrition. Does that make sense to everyone? And for me, this was a game changer. Now, you're going to hear over the weekend us talk about referrals and collecting hearts. And for me, this is what I love about it, because we're looking for more people to go out and pass on the mission of our club. So in our club, we reward people with free visits for the amount of people they recommend to us, and we call it a heart scheme. So every time they bring a referral to us, they collect hearts. And who doesn't love to collect stuff? Who's got a Boots card? Yeah, put your hands up if you've got a Marxies card. Yeah, we love to collect points within a culture. So in Nutrition Club, we collect heart points. Yeah. Now, trainees can have free membership, okay? So if they bring in 3 people to club, they will actually get 10 free visits. If they bring 5, they get 30 free visits. So as a trainee, to be able to build their business in our club, and yes, they still have to have a club membership to have their breakfast, they can actually get free membership through recommending people to club. So it keeps people in production. Yeah? All good? Now, tomorrow we'll go through this in a little bit more detail. Now, the shift option to be able to build their business in our club is they must commit to either 1 full shift a week, 7 till 11. So a lot of our trainees, they actually work full time. They do. You know, when I first looked at clubs, I was like, it's only for people who are full time. Oh, 6 mornings a week. I'm not going to be able to build a team. But what we discovered was to work the trainee coach program where we could bring many people through, just like in the normal, wonderful Herbalife culture. So trainees can either do 1 shift, 7 till 11, or they can do 2 shifts, which is either 7 till 9 or 9 till 11. But it's down to the club owner to let that trainee what shifts we have available. And we have, you know, a culture that we say to our new trainees, you know, this is about you building a business. So if you ever can't make your shift, it's important that you understand you're going to need to get covered by one of the other teams. But in order to make the wheel turn of club to be open 6 days a week, 7 till 11, you're able to build your customer base that accesses that club every 6 days. But you might only be here 1 day, but your business is still building. Is everyone with me on that? Yeah? Now, the next thing is, and this is for me, what me and Dan loved, was it really, the trainee coach program and club enabled us to do tell, show, try, do with our trainees and master the basics really effortlessly. Because every single day they were beside you, learning and doing, learning and doing. If you get things wrong, it's okay, you pick them up, a bit like when you're teaching a baby to walk, you pick them up, you give them a hug, it's okay, let's go again, let's try one more time. And we started to develop a really simple 20-point checklist, and we put them in folders, okay, in club. And when we have a new trainee, we start to work them through the 20 points. And one of the big things that we focus on, and one of the first points is, they have to become competent at delivering a wellness evaluation. Because as a trainee coach in club, that's one of our main skills that we need to be able to do. They've got to learn to invite, they've got to learn to get people in, put them on the plan, and then support them to get a result. And the 20 skills and all these documents you can download off the Herbalife website, which will be going up at some point next week. But what it really infused into the group was recognition. You see, in club, when you get clubbed, as a customer, we give recognition for daily results and for long-term results, yeah? And everyone loves recognition. But when you move into the development of the career ladder and trainee coach, we love to recognize trainees for taking off a skill. So you get this infectiousness of recognition for product results and recognition for people developing and growing and becoming the best possible coaches that they can. And for me, this became just one of the most passionate things that me and Dan became a part of. And we also knew that with the trainee coach program, that if we were going to get professional, we had to develop a really simple business plan. Something that any trainee coach, whether they were part-time or full-time, again, you'll be able to download this off, the Herbalife website. But we had to give people a simple plan when they started off. What were they looking to create? What were they looking to build the skills of and master? And that was to build a customer base over 90 days. And out of them 10 customers that they first, brought into that club, we knew if they moved them through the pathway, okay, through tell, show, try, do, we would find 1 trainee. And this is a plan that we start to work people through. All still with me, okay? Now, the junior partner program we've touched on, I'm just going to go through the requirements. And again, all this information you're going to get access to. But remember, our long-term goal is to help produce successful club owners that can build profitable clubs. Yeah, we don't want clubs open and closing. This is about opening clubs and really making a difference. Long-term businesses that flourish and then duplicate. So as a junior partner, we say the mentorship plan is 6 to 12 months, okay? Everyone's different to build that mini club within a club. But they have to commit to a minimum of 4 shifts a week, 7 till 11, because they have to feel what it's like to get up every day early. Let's keep it simple, okay? Let's not dress it up. They have to learn what it's like to get up early, because is it hard work? Yes, it is. But is it rewarding? More than anyone would ever know unless you do it. We then also talk to them about the importance of staying in production. They have to keep feeding the funnel with new people that they personally bring in. We call it responsibility in club. So in our junior partner agreement, we say that every junior partner must bring in a minimum of 10 frontline new club members in 90 days. That's only 1 a week, but they still must do 5 through helping their trainees to bring in 2. Is everyone with me on that? Can you see now how it becomes achievable? And then the next thing is that we say to them about teaching them to work smart. You see, when you do sample parties, the amazing thing is it's fun, it's attractive, there's no pressure. But hey, this is about working smart too. Because in one sample party, which is really in club, a group wellness evaluation, you can do the equivalent of 10 individual wellness evaluations in 1 hour slot. Now, as a junior partner, if you've got 2 to 3 trainees, you've got to teach yourself how to work smart and teach others. And then we have 8 simple business skills. And the skills are around things like, managing stock, putting a rota together, making sure that you put a lead generation plan together. Again, you can get access to this. Maybe it's, twice a month that you're out in your local communities and supermarkets doing, podding, walking and talking, all the basics, but it's about keeping the junior partner to understand that they have to keep filling the funnel and reaching more people. And as we start to develop them skills, these junior partners start to emerge. And for all the junior partners who are sitting in the room, we congratulate you, because what makes, and I said this to our team the other week, what makes the difference between a club owner and a junior partner? The club owner had courage. But bit by bit, as we develop your skills and mindset, and we also work with you to grow through this model, you will develop the courage, and one day we will give birth to you and you will open your own community. So this leads me onto the last bit, and recognition we touched on, getting club to every level in club. Clubbed as a customer, feeling the energy and the transformation of the products. Clubbed as a trainee, you want to be there, you're passionate to help others, you want to join the mission. And then as a junior partner, you start to see the bigger picture and think, wow, I would love my own club and to help my own 100 people. And then you've got the next step where you start to roll out. But celebrating and graduating is everything. And these are just some of our club owners. And I'm sorry for anyone in the room who we didn't get to put you on the picture. But every time we have a junior partner who moves out, we graduate them. They have skills, yeah. They have developed the mindset, which will keep growing. But most importantly, they have a business in place, because we want clubs to open that are profitable and making a difference in the communities. Okay, so then our club owners graduate. And these are all the basic things that you learn in Herbalife. So when we have a club owner that's graduated, we would have a call, set their intentions, make a plan. The next step is we would invite them onto a weekly huddle. We were speaking to Jed and Jay about this. It's a 30-minute call on a Wednesday night where all our club owners come together and we just, I was going to say think bomb, but that's the wrong word, isn't it? Is it a think tank? Brainstorm, yeah, not a think bomb, a brainstorm, yeah? But it's a space environment where club owners can get on and share what's going well, what are they having challenges with, how can we exchange ideas? And this is where you find that club owners connect with relationships and work together to grow beyond they could ever imagine. We then put them into a 2-week, pre-launch where what we say is, when you first open your club 2 to 3 weeks before, you have to take massive action. You have to. You cannot get away from the fact in club, it's about personal production, out inviting. And then as we go through, we do launch parties, we keep them going. And then the last thing is that we just stay close to our club owners. Together, we form a higher level of community who are all striving together to help 10,000 people to get healthier and happier and building these 100 clubs over the next 10 years. So guys, I would like to say thank you for your time, okay? Enjoy this weekend. Remember, you're not going to learn everything in one go, and I'm going to hand you back to our amazing MCs